Hey y'all, the holidays are right around the corner and I want to carve some stamps to make some handmade wrapping paper. So I want to share with you my process for carving stamps with a hand-drawn design. So this is just a sample of one that I already have done. It is a flower. And so let me talk you through the process. So the material that I carve into is called Mastercarve, but you can use any, like linoleum materials. The linoleum materials are thin. I happen to really like these Mastercarve blocks because I can carve into every side. I can utilize both sides. So that's why I like this stuff, as well as the fact that it's like an eraser material. In fact, you could absolutely carve into an eraser. I have done that before, but it's kind of a waste of an eraser. So I started buying this Mastercarve material. It also, I always say, it cuts like butter. You need a cutting tool, a linoleum printmaking cutting tool. And how this works is this part unscrews a little bit and the nib fits in here. There is a little space, and you just find that space and you slide the nib in and you tighten it and the tool is ready to go. They make different size nibs so that you can change them out. This one is a really wide one. This one is a smaller one. I usually start with the tiniest one, and I will show you why when we get to that part. So wait, this isn't quite set in there. Let me get it set correctly. Okay, there we go. All right, the other tools that you need are pencils, tracing paper, and then regular paper, and of course a stamping pad for testing your design. So this is how I get started. So I just get a piece of paper and I kind of want to, well, I'll save it. I'll do this one. So you cut your block to whatever size you want, and I'm just setting it on my drawing paper, and I'm just tracing it so that I know what size I'm working with. And then I'm just going to draw a design. So I'm going to do another flower. I just want a different flower than that one. So let me just think this out really fast. I'm going for a poinsettia. Now, I probably should have checked a poinsettia to see how many how many petals it has, but I didn't, and that's okay. So now I'm going to take my tracing paper, and this is how I'm going to transfer my design. And this is a 9B. A 9B is just really dark, as you can see. So I don't have to trace the ring in the center because I'm actually not really going to use that ring. This is all I need. All right, so setting that aside. Now, this is graphite side up. I'm flipping that over and I'm going to press it. I'm transferring the graphite just by rubbing. You can check it, see that it's there. This is why I use the 9B, because 9B is dark and soft, And so it transfers, look at that, so easily. Now, your design, okay, so obviously I drew it like this. And when I transferred it this way, which is great because then when I print it, it's going to print as I drew it, okay? This is why I love this method. By tracing it and then flipping it to transfer, it's actually going to print in the right direction as I drew it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now let me just get these items. I have to be organized, y'all. Okay, I have the smallest cutting nib on here, and I do that because I just like to, it's kind of like sketching. I just like to get my initial lines cut in. And I take this very slowly. As you can see, I kind of move the block more than I do the tool. Like I'm not moving the tool. I'm moving the block. This is the same way I kind of work with scissors when I'm cutting. I usually move the paper. Sometimes I teeter between the two, as you can see right here. All right, so now I'm moving the block. This just takes patience, but it cuts so easy. It really, really does cut easy. And if there's anything about your drawing that you want to kind of change, now is the time to kind of do that. Like I just, this tip was rounded. I just made it pointy instead of round. Like the drawing was round. I decided to go for a point. I think poinsettias are pointy. This is my last petal. All right. So all I've done is just cut the drawing out. Now I'm going to switch nibs to one of the, sometimes you gotta give it a little shake around. This is the next size nib. So it's just you can see the differences. This one's really tiny, this one's deeper. So what I do here is now I'm just gonna remove, I'm following where I was, but I'm digging deeper. And what I will do is I will do this whole section to show you. Normally I would go all around. I would do the same thing all around. All right. So see how I'm just removing everything from this corner. Let me do one more. Let's go, yeah, we'll go this way. Okay. You're just digging in deeper and closer to your design. I will switch nibs now. Now I'm gonna switch and go to, you definitely gotta give it a wiggle. Okay. Now I've got the really wide, it's gonna take like a huge chunk out. Big chunks. this allows you to remove a lot all at one time. See how fast that was? Once you've got a good amount taken away, you can use the bigger, you can go in closer with the bigger one, but until you've got a good amount taken away with the smaller ones, I would not switch to the big one yet. All right. All right, coming over to this side. Removing a whole bunch. Big chunks at a time. It's so rewarding. The big one, working with the big one is definitely rewarding because it takes off so, like, you feel like you're really getting somewhere. Now, with practice, which I have practiced hands, you can just go ahead and cut with the big one. And sometimes, y'all, I will just hold the tool with my hands if I know I just need to get something really quickly. You don't always have to switch them out. I am cleaning up this side. I feel like this side needs a little cleaning. I didn't quite get that point well. Now I can switch back to the big tool, or I should say the big nib with the, that goes pretty deep. Okay. All right, you get the idea. Okay, I am going to continue cutting and will return in a moment. Okay, so I have removed all of the negative space from around my flower, and I am ready to test it to see what more needs to be removed. So I am going to test stamp it, and this will show me where I'm missing, where the design is maybe askew or extra bits. Wow, it actually looks pretty good. Let me try that. I probably need a new stamp pad. All right, pressing really good in the middle so that I can get the whole thing. All right, so what this informs me is I need to chop down here or cut down. And you see how I've got some lines on the, like extra lines here. I can actually see them on the stamp. I'm gonna remove those. I know some people like to, you know, leave that kind of thing to show that it was, that it's a, you know, like handmade, and that's totally fine. It's actually personal preference. I personally like it to be super duper clean. So I am going to remove any other bits that I think are going to print that I don't want to print. And most of it I can see on here because it's got turquoise on it. So let's see, I'm switching to the finer nib. and just removing those bits that are really close to the petal. Let's see, this one has big chunk. So easy, y'all. This is such an easy process. It's very rewarding. You get to make your own stamps and designs, your drawings, you know, instead of someone else's drawing. That's what I love about this, is you just, it's so personalized, customized, custom made by you, you know, instead of, you know, not that store-bought's bad. I mean, we want to, you know, support other artists who have created and designed things, but why can't you be the one that creates and designs your own thing? So this is one of those great processes that allows us to be the designer. Okay, let's test this again to see what else needs to be tweaked. Hopefully not much. All right, let's go over here. Pressing really good, using my muscles today. Ah! All right, where is it? Okay, if I pressed there, it's this one. Wait, sometimes, let's see, if I press this way and I pull up, okay, it's this one. So see right here, yes, I'm being persnickety and I might clean up this right there. Okay, so that is this, and no, it's not. Yes, it is this one. Huh. Because it's like, it's reversed, you know, you have to just really pay attention, and it didn't, there wasn't that much ink right here. I think I'm gonna remove this too, right along this edge. Was it this? It was this one. Well, I'm cleaning up this one anyways. Okay. I'm just gonna clean up every little I'm just defining the tips of the petals a tiny bit more. And how you can tell, you see how much blue printed, you know, kind of like not printed, but got on. That's how you can tell if a little part, you know, just maybe needs to be removed. And I mean, look how little I'm taking off, just these little tiny bits. But for me, it makes a difference. It really does. All right, one more test to see how we're doing. All right. Let's go on to fresh side. Okay. Ah, I like it. This came out really good. So I must see this little kind of white space right there. That is just probably a little imperfection spot on the block, which is totally fine. That doesn't bother me at all. What I want is clean edges. That's what I go for, is super clean edges. And I feel like I have accomplished that. I am really happy with this poinsettia, or that's what I'm calling it, is a poinsettia. So let me now show you what I am going to do with this poinsettia. Hey y'all, I wanted to show you what I have done with my stamp. So this is a paper bag, a grocery bag in particular, and I have, you know, pulled it like torn it apart. And so I am making some handmade wrapping paper. And what I have done is I took actually three other stamps that I have carved. I've got 2 leaves, and they actually have other designs on the other side, so you can see how I have utilized both sides of the stamp. And I took what I'm calling a poinsettia, my flower, and I have randomly stamped all of these stamps all around. So I know I've already started it, but what I want to do is just kind of continue the process with you to show you how I go about doing this. So I get my poinsettia, and this is dye ink pads, and I just smash. It's easier on stamps. Instead of pressing the stamp to the pad, I think it's easier to just smash the pad onto the stamp. So I've got it, lots of color on here. And so here we go. I'm doing 1 press, and I'm gonna just lightly tap it again and do another right over here. And this will be lighter, slightly lighter. So I've got dark ones and light ones. And I am gonna do a few more. You can see this is a messy process, but oh so fun. And let's see, I'm gonna do a dark one about right here. This time I'm not gonna press it down again. I'm just gonna use it, and this one will be super light, and you press really hard, okay? Now I'm gonna fill in with the gold. So here's what I wanna show you with the gold. So this is actually pigment, and which is a little different. It's like thicker, and it stays wet a little longer, but it doesn't quite show up on this brown paper bag. But I want to show you what I do. So I'm really just using my stamp as a guide. So I will stamp a couple, and you can see, you can hardly see it on the paper, but what I'm gonna do is draw over it with a metallic marker. So let me show you what that process looks like. I do like to cap my ink pads when they're not in use. So let me just cap these. And actually, y'all, I will leave them upside down because then it's like easy, which you'll see when I do the leaves. So here, this is a King Art is the brand, twin tip metallic pen. So this is the brush pen side. And I'm just gonna trace, and you can see instantaneously it looks way more gold. And you can actually see the shimmer. And so you're thinking, well, why did you even stamp it? You could just draw that on. Yes, I could. But what I like about the stamp is the stamp just kind of gives a glow because the pen is a little thinner than what's stamped. So there's actually like a little bit of a gold glow happening, you know, behind. Plus, I'm tracing this, which means that most of the circles are symmetrical and look the same. If I were hand drawing this, they would be a little less symmetrical, but they still have that hand drawn quality about them. So that's how I tackle that. And so now let's get some leaves on. So here's how I like to use the ink pad. If you just kind of store it not store it permanently. When you store them, you should store them this way. That way the ink stays in the pad. While you're using it, use it upside down because it's just easier for you to use. So I do the same with the leaves. I do a really dark and then I do a lighter press and then I re-ink and stamp again. Where am I gonna go this time? I'm gonna go right here. And then I will do a lighter one right here. And once I've done a couple of those, I will switch to the other one, my other leaf design. And I do the same thing. And what I like to do is put like a dark one next to a light one. And I'll change the direction that it's going. Let's see, I'll put a light one right here. And let's do it again. It goes really fast also. Super pretty. I'm gonna go this way. Then I will go that way. All right. Okay, so I will just keep doing this process until the whole thing is filled and I end up with this great large piece that I can use for wrapping paper or anything, decoration. You could cut this up, fold it, use it with cards. You could use it for collage. I want to show you how I got the little white, kind of like snow, we'll just call them snowflakes. This is the same as the gold marker. The brand is King Art and it's the twin tip metallic pen. I'm using the brush tip side. Here's what's so cool about this pen. The first time I used it on the dark paper, I had no idea that it was gonna pop so like deeply like this, because you will see when I mark, it looks like nothing is happening. And then the white just kind of appears. Look, can you see that? As it dries, it gets whiter. It's so awesome. And it's so like bright. It's almost like this is, and maybe it's more like a paint pen. Has, you know, the pigment in it is very, very rich. I feel like something needs to go there, like a stamp. So I'm going to leave that space blank. And I'm just going to keep filling in this area just so you can see. And I'm just mark making. This actually is such a fast and quick little process. And y'all, this is just a paper bag. This is a grocery bag, which I love the fact that this is recycling. You're recycling, you're making something handmade. It's so pretty. So I hope this has inspired you to maybe carve some of your own stamps and your own drawings and designs. Get your brown paper grocery bags and, you know, stamp out and make your own wrapping paper, custom wrapping paper, and, you know, gift it to the ones you love for the upcoming Christmas holidays. So be inspired. I hope you take what you have learned in this video and you go make something amazing to share with the world. Happy creating, y'all.